Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Yesterday, the CEO of On3, Shannon Terry, go follow him at Shannon Terry. He posted 4 points on Alabama football, not quarterback related. I'm going to talk about those 4 points. I'm not going to agree with all of them. He has the biggest positive storyline will be the addition of Kevin Steele, the new DC at Alabama. We'll talk about the addition of Steele. Says the best wide receivers by midseason aren't the current starters. Talk about that wide receiver room. Fix left tackle. We'll talk about the left tackle position, what we learned from the spring game. And then he says Justice Haynes is running back number 1, and it's not even close. Justice Haynes was unbelievable during the spring season. My goodness. That clip that we have of him doing drills this past spring, almost over 500,000 views. But we cannot discount Jase McClellan. Nobody's talking about him. Now a senior at Alabama, 5'11", 212 pounds. Has a lot of game experience. He's played in 30 games, 175 attempts, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. That's what he's done. That's what he has done collectively. 6.2 yards per pop. Last season, in 13 games played, 112 attempts for 655 yards, playing behind Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, Gibbs, number 1 pick in the NFL draft, in the first round pick. You know what I'm saying? Roll, Detroit Lions, roll. Jase McClellan, when Alabama needed a big play against Texas, big-time players come up big in big-time games. He had 97 yards. A lot of that was because of that 80-yard run that he reeled off against Longhorns. Later on in the season, he had 19 carries against Mississippi for 84 yards. Against Austin Peay, he had 17 carries for 156 yards with 2 touchdowns. Against Auburn, the Tigers, he had 44 yards with a key touchdown. In the Sugar Bowl, light work, 42 yards with a touchdown. He also caught 14 passes for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns. Going into the season, Jase McClellan certainly running back number 1. The running back room, as we have spoken about many times, is absolutely loaded with talent. Jase McClellan, all-purpose style back. Roydell Williams, built like a bowling ball. You get in short distance from the goal line, you got to feed Williams. Jam Miller, very underrated, powerful running back. And then Justice Haynes, the phenomenal freshman who had 3 scores in the spring game. Looks the part, is the part, will absolutely be the next big-time back at Alabama. Richard Young enters the roster on May 28th. Has a lot of ability as well. That running back room is ferocious. Now, is Justice Haynes running back number 1? I think he's going to push for it, but I don't think we can discount Jase McClellan and what he brings back in terms of experience in his playing style. Jase is a good running back. Very good. All right, we continue talking about Alabama going into this 2023 season. Not quarterback related. Let's move to the next topic that Shannon Terry was talking about. Shannon Terry, the CEO of On3. Go check out On3. Support their content at Shannon Terry. He had 4 points yesterday that we're talking about. Biggest positive storyline will be the addition of Kevin Steele. Yo, Shannon, I completely agree with this. I am a huge Kevin Steele fan. I love the fact that Nick Saban went back to the old school mentality on the defensive side of the ball. When I first got here, and I've told this story many times, back in 2017, Alabama was just, for the most part, running through teams. Then they got to the Auburn Tigers. Oof. Auburn's defense, I had never, ever seen Alabama's offensive line, especially in the trenches, get pushed around like Auburn did. Don't judge Kevin Steele based off Miami and Tennessee, base his career, what he did at Auburn as a DC from 2016 to 2020. Why? Because the numbers speak for itself. In 2017, Auburn's defense was ranked number 3 overall, right behind Alabama and Clemson. It went Clemson number 1, Alabama number 2, Auburn number 3, number 4, Georgia, number 5, Ohio State. That was under Kevin Steele. 2 seasons later in 2019, Clemson had the number 1 defense again, and Auburn had the 3rd-ranked defense. So yeah, Kevin Steele coming back with that old school mentality. Keep it simple. Let your defense tackle, get after the quarterback, wrap up. It doesn't have to be complicated on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's what Kevin Steele is going to do. Not that, the players can't understand high-level concepts. Of course they can at this level. But defense, it can be simple. You have to be a missile as an interior linebacker. Edge rusher, get after the quarterback. Corners, play aggressive. Safeties, come with the boom. Love the addition of Kevin Steele to Alabama Crimson Tide. More so, honestly, than Tommy Rees on the offensive side. I mean, Tommy Rees still has to prove himself, in my opinion. I think Kevin Steele's resume speaks for himself. Right? I really do. Talked to Malachi Moore after the spring game. I said, Malachi, what is it like playing under Kevin Steele? He said, it's a different mentality. I think what he meant is they're coming with the boom. Rewind to that Jake Pope hit. Rewind to the defense. How many sacks they have in the spring game? I know it's just a spring game, but still. And Dallas Turner wasn't even playing. Deontay Lawson wasn't even playing. Chris Brazo wasn't even playing. That mindset that Kevin Steele is going to bring, I'm excited about it. Shannon Terry also talks about the best wide receivers by midseason aren't the current starters. Okay. Well, let's zoom in a little bit on the wide receiver room. Yeah, Ja'Cory Brooks coming back. When you look at Ja'Cory Brooks and what he's able to do, I think sometimes we forget about Ja'Cory Brooks because he's come up money in crunch time. He really has. You look at the overall production that he's had at the University of Alabama, it's pretty good. He's dependable. He just doesn't get a lot of hype. Last season, 2022, you had 39 receptions, 674 yards with 8 touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns. He's the vet. He's coming back. You have Jermaine Burton. I know a lot of people have their opinions about Jermaine Burton and feel he needs to be more consistent, and he does. Last season, 40 receptions for 677 yards with 7 touchdowns. So between the two, they had 15 touchdowns last year. That's a lot of experience coming back. Throwing Malik Benson, who absolutely looks the part. Towards the end of that spring game, he was doing his thing. That's the Malik Benson that we're looking for. But maybe Shannon Terry's right. By midseason, some of these younger wide receivers start to get on the field and start to take over. I don't know about replacing all 3 of those guys, but Kendrick Law is an absolute baller. Emmanuel Henderson is vastly underrated. He's got the speed to burn. Kobe Prentice, last season as a freshman, 31 receptions, 337 yards with 2 touchdowns. And Isaiah Bond, he played in 13 games last year. He's got the speed to beat the defense over the top. 17 receptions for 220 yards with the touchdown. Those super sophomores, if you will, straight dangerous. That sophomore group, I'm telling you. Oof. Okay, so next up, talk about the left tackle position. And when you look at the offensive line, the freshmen coming in are phenomenal. So I think what is going to happen at the tackle position is you've already solidified J.C. Latham, Darian Dalcourt, Seth McLaughlin, Tyler Booker. Those are the guys certainly going to be in the rotation. And I think it's pretty easy to see that Caden Proctor will be the starter this coming season. Monster of a freshman, right? These guys, Eric Wolford went out and got giants to replace Elijah Pritchett. Then you're going to have Caden Proctor on the outside and J.C. Latham. I think whoever's going to be the quarterback, we can't talk about the quarterbacks right now, is going to feel comfortable, with those 2 guys as your tackles. Interior offensive line, a lot of experience, Darian Dalcourt. I'm interested to see how he's going to fare at that guard position all season long. Seth just wants to run the damn ball. And Tyler Booker, it seems like he's the alpha within that group. Love it. My name is Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Talking about a couple points that the CEO of On3 had, Shannon Terry, when talking about this Alabama Crimson Tide team. As we move forward, I just don't want people to forget about Jase McClellan. I just don't. I think the running back room overall has so much depth, and there's nothing wrong with having quality depth. There's nothing wrong with it. We've seen time and time again, things happen. It's a gauntlet of a season. Nothing wrong with having 5 good running backs, elite running backs in the stable. They're going to get their time. But I don't think we can discount Jase. And I'm not saying that, people have discounted him. It's just like, yeah, Justice is exciting because this young man's a freshman. What he was able to do during the spring season and getting those compliments from Nick Saban, that just doesn't happen. Same thing with Caleb Downs on the defensive side. Yanzi Pereira is coming. So is Keon Keeley. So is Richard Young. I mean, those are some players that are still yet to arrive on campus. If you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, you got to be excited about the early enrollees, but also these guys coming in the summertime. I want to get your feedback inside the comment box. What do you think about the running back room? Do you think we need to be talking more about Jase? You excited about Kevin Steele like I am? And do you feel that those wide receivers, those super sophomores, are going to turn it up maybe by midseason? Shoot, maybe even by August. Do you think that Caden Proctor will be one of the tackles starting? I think absolutely. That's a slam dunk. Want to get your feedback inside the comment box. Again, my name is Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you more than you know. Have a beautiful rest of your Friday. And you can find us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe.